guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alana here. Welcome back to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. So, I welcome you all to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Alana. I am a Hayoka empath. I am a social worker. I live in Canada. I have found my way to tarot probably within the last 10 years. Still leading with my upbringing of Christianity, but would consider myself to be an omniist. With still, like I said, leading the way by heart through Christianity. Also, I'm a mental health advocate. And during the course of the past 10 years with the, well, actually, I think at this point, it's probably more like 12, almost 13 years, if you will, from the collapse of my life and all the various changes and karmic cycles and lessons learned and things that I've had to go through. That even would include Dark Night of the Soul, and, descension, ascension, spiritual awakening, more self-discovery, lots and lots of shadow work and therapy. Woo! All bringing me to today's date as I film this. It's now Saturday, in the wee hours of the morning, of course, because I am a night owl. Saturday, September 13th, 2025. I just finished celebrating my birthday, which was on September 10th. Also, what is significant about this month, and more specifically my birthday, but I'm getting to that, is the fact that it is Suicide Prevention Month. And that's important as I am, like I said, a social worker and a mental health advocate, neurodivergent Hayoka empath. So, and given the fact that we are currently in a global mental health crisis, and, I've had my own personal struggles, with the breakdown of my own mental health and the repairing of all of that, sort of that embodiment of the wounded healer, archetype, if you will. I have mentioned before that I come to realize and recognize myself as a karmic cycle breaker, and how significant that has been, not only for my heritage, my ancestral line, but as I see in present day, my community, my generation, all of these things, and all the puzzle pieces that sort of scattered as my life fell apart. But as I continued to do the healing work and the shadow work and the therapy, to slowly putting these pieces of self essentially back together again, to come into union where the shadow meets the light. And, wrapping up karmic cycles. And, you would have heard me in videos throughout, my channel, especially, within the last year, I would say, talking a lot about, getting to know myself and, what some of the things that I've, come to recognize, coming face to face with, in regards to self, and, and also with, the breakdown of mind, body, and spirit, all bringing all that back into alignment for my greatest and highest good, for my family, for my community, and essentially for the greatest and highest good that I can do in this carnation for Mother Gaia, for right, for the collective. So here is where I'm at. And like I said, celebrating my birthday, the numbers of my current age all adding up to the Chariot card, and me realizing the significance of that, and again, how influential tarot has been on my healing journey, combining that with therapy practices, and of course, my own personal education and, professional, chosen path that I still, have always strived to still, come back into alignment with doing, obviously, because of my burnout, and I've been open about that, I've had to pivot because of some of, the health concerns that I've ended up having to navigate, but even with all that being said, now seeing the progress I've made, my personal progress that I've made along the way in the last little while, and how grateful I am for that, and everything that has led me up to this point, to date, and the lessons learned and all of those things. But even some of the, the most beautiful things that I would say that has come in. So if you will, if you like my content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And come on this healing journey with me as I continue to build my practice, my personal and professional practice, as a social worker, as I said, as a mental health advocate, and, combining that with therapy and, the building of my series, Therapy and Tarot. And even though there has been some other little pieces of series that I've sort of started, but I've kind of put on pause to focus more, on my healing, of course, and also on this series, the main one, which has been the inspiration of all for, my entire channel, and that is Therapy and Tarot. And so I figured, since my latest live stream on Thursday that I did, Therapy and Tarot, and get our hearts being in survival mode and looking at raising the frequency, doing the healing work, right? And the decks, and the looking at what survival mode from a high frequency perspective sort of looks like. We talked about that, pulled some cards for the collective. So, but since then, on the request of a subscriber, and who happened to be in the live chat, thank you so much. Shout out to Marie. You know, thought about, and I had thought about doing this, but since it was a confirmed desire and a request by a subscriber, I figured why not. So this is, even though this is still, I would still consider this a therapy and tarot video, but also just to show the synchronicities and stuff, you know, and how beautiful, you know, God, the universe, you know, divine consciousness really speaks and shows you who you are. You know, and all the things that leading up to my birthday that I've been grateful for, not only have I been using, but so, you know, we'll look at the decks and the books that I've been using to date, but also what has recently come in and around my birthday, and even on my birthday, which happened to be a fabulous giveaway, which I did talk a little bit about during the live stream on Thursday. So if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. It will be linked in the description box, or will be up in the cards there for you to check out. And yeah, so without further ado, I guess let's get right into it, so I don't make this too long. And if I end up having to do you know, this in a couple of parts, or maybe 3 parts, we'll see, because especially when I'm excited, I will, you know, ramble on and bear with me. I am neurodivergent, so my brain bounces and moves very fast. So yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So I will start actually with and I guess yeah, this will be like a birthday haul sort of video, so to speak, but still therapy and tarot-ish, you know, in the sense, we'll like I said, pull some cards. Anyway, you get it. So, you know, I hope that you will, you know, stay for the ride that this video might just very well be. So, yeah, let's go. So starting with as I was talking about synchronicities and the timing of things that I got, one of the most exciting things that has come in for my birthday, actually on my birthday, and in and around the noon hour too, which is funny. And just like I said, you know, just beautiful timing. Yeah. So anyways, and that is, like I said, that was the giveaway for that Robin of Robin Reflections. And I'll have the video that she had announced the giveaway on linked in the description. Excuse me. And that was for it was in collaboration with Hay House. And for Abiola Abrams' work. So it included the Divine Frequency book here. Harness the Magic of Universal Laws for Transformation, Manifestation, and Freedom. Forward by Colette Baron Reed. I did show this, like I said, in the live stream on Thursday. So I am excited to get into this. And like, yeah. We have embodiment experiment, balancing feminine and masculine energies. Right? Like all of this is in alignment with the healing work that, you know, I have been doing, even, when I reflect upon a lot of my education, and my experience with working with clients, and also my own personal therapy experience, putting all that together with, a lot of the work that I've seen coming from when, my experience working in a Christian bookstore with, like I said, I identify as an omnius. So, I see the common thread amongst a lot of different various teachings. And even with what Abiola has, as I briefly have been flipping through and skimming through the book, a lot of it is in alignment with all of that. So, it's I'm excited to go through this book. And I've been following Abiola on Instagram for a while. I already have been using some of her decks, and if you haven't seen some of those videos that I've done previously, I think maybe even within a couple of years ago, and I'll have some of those linked, and you can always find those on my channel. But also, I've done some pick 3 card readings with 2 of her decks so far. And so I'll show you those, which you would have already seen these. So that's actually, I'll just put a picture up of those ones. Actually, no. Okay, fine. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so you know what? Actually, we're just gonna, yeah. So I like to store my decks in, not all of them, but a lot of them in bags. And I love to find cute bags, and from since I've been doing that, finding creators who have a love for what they create over on Etsy. And so this is one of the bags that I had gotten off of Etsy. I don't remember I do not remember the creator or the store, but if I do find it, I'll have it linked in my description box for you. But the deck that I have, I think by Abiola, that I first had gotten and absolutely fell in love with is, of course, this one, which is the African Goddess Rising Oracle. And so now this is not part of the haul, so this, we'll take it as this is also the decks that I'll probably be working with and have been working with in September as well. So yeah, it's kind of a mashup video here, but go with him. So anyways, yeah, and I absolutely love this deck. Like I said, I've used this on the channel already, and I think it's beautiful. It is, especially when considering that how I've been using it, and if when I spoke about the racial wellness book and the deck. So again, that's the deck that I used in the live stream that I did on Thursday. So yeah, but anyways, but seeing that I'm still working with that deck, is what I was trying to say, is why I'm also excited to pull out this deck again to work with by Abiola. So yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Glossy cardstock. This is Hay House, but this is a deck, like I said, I already had. This was like the first deck by Abiola that I got. But what did come in the giveaway, along with the Divine Frequency book, there is the mini version of the African Goddess Oracle. So I've been storing it in this little mini bag that, you know, kind of sort of, this one I got on Amazon in a like a pack or whatever, but I figured it kind of matched, so why not? And yes, I am a complete nerd. I happily, wholeheartedly accept that about myself. One of my happy quirks. But the mini, look how cute. Look how cute, right? So, and I know, my friend Priscilla over at Priscilla's Tarot Corner has probably already done like a walkthrough and stuff like this. And if I find her video, I will put it up or put it in the description. But yeah, like, look how cute. And like I said, I believe Robin of Robin Reflections also probably has a walkthrough of this with and the mini as well. So, but yeah, so I'm excited to, you know, to even use the mini. And I'm weird like that. If I really like and you know, especially when I'm really enjoying a deck, now that they've been, you know, making re-releasing some favorites in mini versions, I like having the mini one and along with the bigger one, especially when it may, you know, like if I want and some further clarification, I like having, and then too, right, like home, travel, not that at the moment I'm traveling anywhere. I'm home, living like a hermit at right now, but hoping those that, you know, in will be able to change for me, you know, in the future. So but yeah, but I'm happy doing what I have to do at home for the moment, so that's what's happening. And yeah, so that's the African Goddess Oracle. But like I said, this I already had. Obviously, I still have it because it's here. And this I just recently got in as part of the giveaway for my birthday. So I'm happy to finally have the pocket version of this deck. And then of course, what I'm probably going to be doing, now of course this one I don't think, is this the right one? Okay, no. This one wasn't part of the giveaway, but this is another one of Abiola's decks. This was the second release deck that she had released after the African Goddess Rising. And this one is absolutely beautiful. You would have already seen this too on my channel. I also did use this more recently, and I think in a pick 3 reading as well. And also, I think previously, again, but yeah, I definitely check that out. But you can see it's definitely worn in. And it's absolutely another beautiful deck. And I am looking forward to pulling this out again. I think for the month of September, I probably am going to be working with all, again, of Abiola's decks, seeing that, I did win the giveaway and it just happily showed up, on my birthday. So I'm absolutely loving that. And then, so this was the last part of the giveaway. I don't yet have an outer bag yet for this one. But yeah. And this is, of course, the faces of Oshun. And what I absolutely really love about this deck. So, and of course, this being Abiola's third deck that has come out. And yeah, and so I want to read the back because, okay, this I feel like has a very close synchronicity even in relation to all that I've explained about myself, my professional background, what, the path that I've sort of walked, throughout my life, leading, with my heart space, my, commitment to that, the idea of embodying the archetype of the wounded healer and being an advocate for mental health, all of that, right? But anyway, so Faces of Oshun Oracle. You are invited to immerse yourself in the divine essence of Oshun, the Yoruba goddess who reigns over love, beauty, and sweet waters, and embodies self-acceptance and divine femininity. Each card in this beautiful deck serves as a portal to Oshun's wisdom, revealing her transformative power to inspire love, resilience, and empowerment. Abiola Abrams guides you through Oshun's rich spiritual teachings, honoring her as a beacon of hope and endurance. With original artwork by Destiny Powell that reflects Oshun's vibrant energy, the Oracle deck encourages you to connect with your inner beauty, strength, while embracing Oshun's message of love and self-discovery. And I'm deeply moved by that because I feel like that is everything that I feel like I have been striving for, have always hoped for, even overworked and burnt myself out for. And even after surviving all of that, still having the desire to want to continue to embody that, even in a world that is so heavy with and dense right now with everything that is going on. And knowing how deeply I feel for everything and wanting to honor that, but knowing that I'm only in this embodiment as I, am grounded, that I know I'm only one person. Because I've already been there, done that, burnt myself out. Can tell you a novel about it. Even. And even all that continuously went on for me for the last 10 years. And I still managed to survive that. And still have a desire to still continue to walk that path, even though I know that realistically for myself, I have to pivot how I'm actually doing that. And my commitment to doing the healing work for myself in the best way that I've seen in my own experience, given everything that humanity even has had to survive in the last several years as well. It just means so much that how in alignment, this synchronicity with this giveaway and even surrounding Abiola Abrams' work and how much in alignment I feel that this has been for me even, and how during my own healing process I have found these on my path to be able to combine the idea of therapy and tarot and the existence and the reason behind my work and this channel and all that I've been working towards in bringing forth. My passion, my anger, the fire, what drives me forward, the love, the integrity, the divine frequency of unconditional love that I know we all came from. And why I know that I have spent my entire life leading from that, because I've never let go, or my inner child has always been with me. Well, it's been with all of us, but I know that when we've gone through trauma, many of us shut the door on that inner child. They've buried it. Right? Or it becomes a shadow version of self, an entity that, right? And years of unhealed trauma, when that goes on for generations, and we don't do the shadow work to elevate the frequency and change the karmic patterns that keep us stuck in the lower vibrations, the lower frequencies of existence. with everything is thrown off balance, and then now everything has to rise as it rises to the surface. Mother Nature has to go through her purging process, just like we all do. So, but if we want to evolve and, live in higher frequencies, we have to do the shadow work. We have to do the deep dive. We have to do and cleanse the waters of our emotions within self. Clean the karmic patterns of our generational trauma, so that we're not repeating those same karmic cycles moving forward. We're not allowing those entities to infiltrate and poison the future generations coming forward. If we want to see better selves, better communities, a better collective for all of humanity, we have to commit with love to self, with self, for the sake of other selves, so that essentially everything can come back into alignment for all of our greatest and highest good. So I just absolutely love how all of this just, came to be and came about. So that is my rant and my love and my what's the word that I'm looking for? I want to say salute for some reason. I don't know why. But I guess sharing my love for Abiola, her work, her creativity, and her accomplishments, and how all of that just sort of synchronized to my birthday. And I don't think I mentioned, so my birthday being on September 10th, so that was Wednesday, September 10th. Also the significance of September, with September being Suicide Prevention Month. We just had the corn/blood moon, full moon eclipse in my opposing sign, which is Pisces. We are coming up to the new moon, and I believe a solar eclipse on the 21st. So that would now make it actually I think in and around that same time we're coming into the fall equinox, and as well as the new moon in Libra, and my rising sign is Libra. So that's exciting. But even like I said, with the I think it's a partial solar eclipse that's coming up as well. That is significant for the collective. So, again, closing out karmic cycles, this again being the year of the wood snake, and also the year of the hermit. So yeah, and how that relates to me is, well, the Hermit is my, is the Hermit card in a tarot deck. That's also my birth card. Yeah. So right. What also I've been enjoying working with, like I said, and you would, ooh, oh no, Jack, fall down. Okay. That you would have seen, that I have been enjoying and that I been working with is the Ashley River brand, Tending to the Sacred, Rituals to Connect with Earth, Spirit, and Self. This is the larger book that I have used now, I think, in 2, maybe 3 of my live streams. And I have been loving working with the additional books. So this book is a separate purchase from the deck. And the deck being Messages from the Heart of the Divine, Oracle deck, and absolutely beautiful. Again, these are the cards. I have, but as I put stuff away, I've also been working with Sherilyn Darcy. This is the last deck that she has that I didn't have, but I did get recently, so in close in and around my birthday, and I've absolutely been loving that too, and that's the Magical Herb Oracle, published by Rockpool. I've also been, and of course you would have already seen this, and like I said, once I reached 333 subscribers, 3 lucky subscribers will have the opportunity to enter the giveaway and win a copy of this deck, which you would have seen already on my channel. And I've used, I've even pulled a card from this deck on my latest live stream. If you haven't seen the interview and the flip through that I've done with this deck, please check it out. The giveaway, like I said, it will once I hit 333 subscribers, it would unlock the giveaway, and 3 lucky subscribers will have the potential to win a copy of this deck. Gorgeous deck. Absolutely love it. So I'm still working with that as well. Gold gilded watercolor art, absolutely gorgeous. I recently pulled out, hold on. So I recently pulled out and have been using the Racial Wellness, and this is also a Robin Made Me Do It. So again, shout out to Robin of Robin Reflections. So this is the book / journal, Racial Wellness, a guide to liberatory healing for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Jacqueline Chuwu Iyama, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Again, because, I'm all about mental health, like I said, and all of this stuff, and, combining therapy practices and whatnot. I feel like this, especially when we're dealing with racial trauma, even religious trauma, cultural trauma, and especially around the melanated community, I feel like this, even to address some of my own personal trauma around some of those issues myself, feel like this was a perfect deck to work with. We have institutional racial trauma, we have interpersonal racial trauma, we have internalized racial trauma. So really, and again, from that micro to macro sort of perspective, and love that. So again, this would be something, again, I put up there, even along with the Terror Activity book by Drea Bloom. This, is another really great book. Even, again, Tending to the Sacred. These are all really great books that I feel like, really give you that therapeutic, and I mean, like I said, when you're really dealing, when it comes to, when you're really struggling, and mental illness is a factor, addiction is a major factor. A lot of a lot of people out there who are struggling either don't have access to the services they need, don't have the ability to access these services. Maybe their own, culturally speaking, biased ideologies and or religious biases against seeking the, medical support. All of these things that sort of factor into why people aren't seeking, the professional help that it is also needed in order to heal. I feel like even without having that accessibility, even having some of these tools to be able to work with that help to touch on these deeper inner shadows and to address some of these things and bring up the consciousness for some of these karmic cycles so that they can be broken and changed, and we can evolve humanity and raise the collective frequency for all of us. Yes, I'm all about this. And again, given my, like I said, all my history and my experience, and these are the tools that I'm like, yeah. So, and I absolutely find beautiful. And so, along with the racial wellness book here, although I didn't really touch too much on the book in the live stream, but what I did, sorry, give me 1 second again, let me just change things around. What I did use and did pull in my last live stream was from the affirmations deck, Tender Reminders. So this is the separate deck that goes along with the racial wellness book. And you would have seen me sort of quickly talk about it. This, again, part of the Robin Made Me Do It duo, I meant to say, with the book and the deck. And I absolutely love the deck, and how, it even in collaboration with the cards that I pulled during the live stream Therapy and Tarot / Thoughtful Thursdays card pull, and it's only Thoughtful Thursdays because of me using the and inspired by the creator of the beautiful Thoughtful Journey Oracle deck. So I've sort of been calling it that because of the I've been using the Thoughtful Journey Oracle deck. So yeah, but really it's Therapy and Tarot. So anyways, not to say that I'm always going to be doing my Therapy and Tarot live streams, or doing live streams for Therapy and Tarot, I should say, rather, or, really banking on the fact that it will always be on Thursdays. But for now, that's what I'm going with. So, yeah. But yeah, this deck, individual tender reminders. And I love how it's a 2-4. They're 50. So technically I want to say there's there's an affirmation and maybe even a reflection question that comes on each card. So here, individual tender reminders. May you find ways to pour into yourself as you navigate living in an oppressive society. Interpersonal. What racist assumptions are made about me based on my appearance? Interpersonal. And then a tender reminder on the back here. People's racist judgments about you say more about who they are internally than about who you are externally. Institutional. What are some loveless institutions we need to abolish? These were some of the cards that I did pull on Thursday's live stream. Dream. What is my vision for creating a world without white supremacy? Tender reminder. Never let go of your ability to disrupt worlds that do not work for us and dream up worlds that do. And yeah, as I read that again, reminds me of, again, the latest Netflix movie anime that I was telling you guys about during the live stream, which is the K-pop Demon Hunters, and how very much I felt like when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that just really goes to what that says here. Not that. This part, in the tender reminders. Never let go of your ability to disrupt worlds that do not work for us and dream up worlds that do. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you seen the movie I'm talking about on Netflix? The K-pop Demon Hunters? And if you have watched it and you reflect upon it in regards to this tender reminder, can you see the similarities in the theme based on the movie to what is here? Let me know in the comments down below. But, yeah. Dream. What is the first thing I would do in a racist-free society? Right? And then, of course, the tender reminder. While it's difficult to envision what freedom feels like in an oppressive society, remember that there is a world where we are free. So, yeah, I absolutely love that. And this has been a really, really great deck to work with. Especially, when it comes to unpacking, some of those racial woundings that we, especially those in the melanated community, have experienced. And even, those on the opposite side when doing the shadow work and coming face to face with situations and addressing where, because again, doing the shadow work isn't just about healing the wounds that we have, but it's also coming face to face with our own shadows and coming face to face with where we have maybe the villain in someone else's story. Coming face to face with that, facing our karma, facing forgiveness, redemption. Right? Making that commitment to have discernment instead of reacting to situations. Where do our own biases now that we have inflict, whether it be unconscious or misused powers of anger because of pain and or generational trauma, because this is a karmic year, right? So as cycles are ending and shifting and new beginning again, and we want to bring good karma into our lives, we're about checking every aspect of self, healing our old wounds, and those wounds that maybe have left open, that has left us stuck in repeating karmic wounding patterns, survival patterns of behavior that we've adhered to. So, and the choices we've made in regards to that has either placed us in looping the cycle of victimization for ourselves or for the people around us. And making a loving effort to change those patterns for self and for others. Because at the end of the day, we are all love, right? That's where we come from. That's where we're going to be returning to. So let's raise the karmic frequency of the collective by addressing our own individual shadows and bringing the shadows into the light so that we can all evolve together with love. So, yeah. Now, the other deck that I have been, or the other couple of decks that I've been working with and I've been enjoying, is working with the Unveiled Tarot. This is the deck by Liminal 11. Published by Sterling Ethos. Liminal 11, Sterling Ethos. It's the Unveiled Tarot by Jesse Lonergan. Forward by Mike Mignola. And yeah, like this has actually been a surprisingly very revealing deck, if you will. I mean, after all, it is the Unveiled Tarot, and it's definitely a spin of a deck. It's sort of RWS based, I was trying to say, see? But the image that we see on the card, there is another layer that goes deeper. So I feel that that's, especially when it comes to doing the introspection of self, and we're using tarot as we dive into our unconscious or subconscious and the unconscious parts of ourselves that maybe, are hidden because of our generational trauma, right? That has been passed on to us from maybe our parents, our grandparents, ways and survival ways of behavior that may need to change, or the hidden parts of self that we've, in order to conform, we've suppressed. Right? So that's why I really enjoy working with the Unveiled Tarot. Because, like I said, it gives you that added layer. So you're seeing things that's sort of below the surface, if you will. Yeah. And it's not like it's just a reversed, it's it's like a go deeper sort of thing. So yeah, so I've been enjoying that. And then of course, because dancing is one of my loves, and this is a deck I've had on my wish list for a while, but also as I have been loving the intuitive dance, if you will, that I've been having with the Thoughtful Journey Tarot. I absolutely loved the fact that there was this deck, which is Dancing in the Dark Tarot, and as you see here, this is the Fool card in the deck, and she's leaping towards the moon in a very arabesque kind of way. So reminds me a lot of of this deck in that way, and sort of, maybe not that card specifically, but right? So I just feel like that sort of just kind of does that light and shadow sort of dance with one another in regards to theme that way. So because the tarot is, of course, more darker images, and then of course with the Thoughtful Journey being more of white watercolor, so really giving that the contrast of light and shadow, I feel. So yeah. And I mean, mind you, the characters don't look like, other than the Fool card, and yeah, I think some other of the characters, it doesn't really seem like there's much dance going on in this card, but I feel like it also sort of, in a sense, sort of gives that more illusion of the dance of mind, the dance of behavior, if you will, right? As opposed to the embodiment of self versus, so, that sort of what's natural and what's programmed. So the oracle is more of what's natural versus the restrictive 78 rule of tarot being the programming. There you go. So, that was an interesting thought. And I feel spin. Tell me what you think. But yeah, that's what just happened to come to mind as an explanation for that. So yeah, I really didn't think that one through, but yeah, that actually sounds legit. So yeah, okay, and I'm still working with the Intuit Oracle decks. I still have, so that's the Twin Flame, the Zodiac 108, and the Intuit second edition Oracle. Also, so I've been enjoying working with, well, I've always enjoyed working with Legos. But no, this is a Lego, the Lego brand, playing cards set. And of course, you know, if you have, as you've been probably following me and you've come to realize, I enjoy using playing cards in divination as well. You know, sort of for that added extra layer to a reading, if you will. And these have been really fun. But what I've been doing more recently now, since I am going to be looking to put these playing card decks away, because I do have other playing card decks that I do want to work with. And even as we are getting into the darker half of the year, I have some playing card decks that I really want to bring out, but also there's some that are actually, like, even though they're playing card decks, like Dead on Paper. I don't know if you've ever heard it, for those of you that are in the tarot community and, you know, do read and work with divination. But there's a company called Dead on Paper, and they produce these it's called the Arcana playing cards. And it's actually a full tarot deck playing card sized deck. Very sort of, yeah, and it's well, black and white, essentially, art. And I do have actually both the editions of that deck. So I'll probably be bringing that out to work with sometime later on this year. We'll see. Or not, we'll see. I will. I'll actually probably do a video on my playing card divination sets. So stay tuned for that at some point. Yeah, but however, back to the Lego playing card sets that I've been working with. So one is the bricks, and then the other one is their newest, the botanical Lego playing cards. And what I really love about this is that since because it's each set is two decks in one. So yes, so technically, it's essentially, I've been working with four playing card decks, I should say. And oops. No, don't. There you go. Okay. But what I've since done, as like I said, I'm getting ready to put them away now, is I've actually combined the two decks from one set. And this is the botanical one. And that's actually been really fun to shuffle with the two decks in one. So, right, that's I was gonna say that's no, it's 50, so that's 108 cards. Cause yeah, two decks. Cause 54 plus 54. But yeah, right, and so I've been doing that, and then the other set of them from the brick collection, yeah, I combined both decks, but then I had to put this one in a bag for holding, because playing cards, because they're linen, they're slippery. So when you do stack them up like this, sometimes it can make for a slippery, slidey mess if where there are is slightly unstable or has a lean. The cards with the air slide cushion will slide in anyway. So yeah, so that's been fun. And I like this deck because of the fact that right, especially on the court cards, you actually have people, especially with the brick one anyways. So yeah. So like I said, so that's what I've also been working with. And what I will be putting away and rotating out soon. Well, yeah, a lot of the botanical decks that I've been working with for a few weeks now, since before my birthday. But yeah, the other thing that I really love about this, so about the Lego collection, and more specifically for the botanical playing cards set, is the fact that this one also has a book. So that has been really fun to also work with, because not only is it a like the book to the playing card set, but it has write-ups of all the different flowers that they have in their Lego botanical actual building collection. So they do line that they released. I think it was this year they released it. So right, here's like an arrangement all built of like Lego pieces I guess that they've made to date. And what the great thing about the book is, not only do you get the write-up of the actual flower that was made, like the actual the species of the flower, the history, right, but also the how the pieces that were used to make the set, or to make the flower in Lego form. And then in and around some of the flowers, because I think there were different designers for different parts of the set, so there's like a write-up interview with the builder that works at the Lego, I guess, factory or head office, or empire building, if you will. And of course, they're laid out by the collections that each of the builders made for the set. And then at the back, it has like its own like pull-out poster or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's been fun. And also that happened to come in for my birthday, well, in and around. And this was a Kickstarter that I happened to back, that I was finally able to get. And you would have seen this one already. This is, and well, you wouldn't have seen the newest deck that came in, but you would have seen, me talk about this creator, already, on my channel. And this is the creator of the, this is Eric Mail. And this is the creator of the Endless Oracle, and the paper Lenormand Oracle. He's done some other decks. He's done the, I forget what the Inkwitch Tarot first and second edition, plus the expansion packs. As well, of course, I'll have a link to his Instagram and his website down in the description box. But so this is the tarot. Let me show you the oracle. And I will have the link to the video that I did previously with the oracle and the paper Lenormand. I think it's a therapy and tarot video, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I did do a reading with it. But yeah, so this is the Endless Oracle. Yes, I have my little band for that. But yeah, so here we go. The Endless Oracle and the Endless Tarot both by Eric Mail. And so in the month of September, I do at least in maybe towards October. I don't know if it will be right in September yet, but it did come in September. It came in around my birthday, like I said, the tarot deck, to go with the oracle deck. So I'm excited to work with that, as well as the paper Lenormand. But I'll have a link to the video that I did with the using the paper Lenormand and the Endless Oracle, so you can check that out and stay tuned. I'll probably do a flip through and maybe even a side-by-side flip through of the oracle with the tarot, or you'll probably see it when I do either some collective readings or, you know, a therapy and tarot video in the future. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's all that I had. Lastly, what I've been working with, like I said, is the Secret Garden. This is the two affirmation decks but I'm getting ready to put these ones away as well. The Secret Garden, this is by Jessica Lee, which did I use this one? No, I used this one. I showed you this one in a previous video, but this one I actually pulled cards from the one Let Go, and by Akal Pratam. So yeah, so that's all the decks that I have been working with and books that I've been working with for the month of September. Also, what came in for around my birthday, so / birthday haul. And yeah, and so, to end, I figure, you know what, let me pull a card from, actually, no. I am going to pull a card from Abiola's new deck, Faces of Oshun Oracle. Just to close this video out. I don't even know how long this video is, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, so, all right. Holy Spirit, Guardian Angels, Divine Consciousness, God, help us to see clearly. What messages do we have from this deck? This beautiful deck that is, everywhere, by ocean. What messages do we have from Spirit today for the collective? Beautiful cardstock, matte. And I love the way it shuffles. Okay, we have 20, Oshun of the drought, fear, insecurity, scarcity. And under the deck, we have 9, Oshun of harmonic balance, harmony, inner peace, synchronicity. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay. 20, Oshun of the drought, fear, insecurity, scarcity. I choose to embody abundance. Initiation of shadows. Lack and scarcity are kicking your behind right now. Take a breath. When you pull Oshun of the drought, it means you're feeling drained or empty, and it's a sign to look inward and take steps to refill your energy and confidence. Confront these shadows head on. What to do now? It sounds like BS when you feel broken, but abundance really is a state of mind. Ground yourself in gratitude and focus on the richness within and around you. Challenge and shift negative thought patterns and seek ways to nourish your spirit. Nurturing your inner well-being can alleviate feelings of a personal drought. Are you allowing fear or self-doubt to block your prosperity? Just as nature's droughts are followed by rains, this phase too shall pass. Be open to opportunities and recognize that abundance often arrives when you release the scarcity mindset. Be grateful. Focus on what matters and make conscious choices that will lead you Be careful. Be grateful. Focus on what matters and make conscious choices that will lead you back to the flow of abundance. Her story. Oshun Ibukol is one of the many cameos or paths / manifestations of the Oshun in the Yoruba pantheon. Each cameo represents a different aspect or narrative of the Orsha. Ibukol represents a more somber and reflective side of the goddess, in contrast to the usual joyful and lively depictions. Ibukol is often described as a vulture, an aspect of Oshun that represents transformation and evolution. Healing ritual. Create a bowl of abundance by taking a small bowl and filling it with symbols of things for which you are grateful or you wish to manifest. This can be written notes, small objects, or even spices and herbs. Place this bowl in a place where you will see it daily as a reminder. Yes. And while I was reading that, what I was reflecting on is the idea of a leader, a warrior of love, someone who embodies the idea of high frequency love. We see here someone making the commitment for change. We have, I want to say wanting crescent moon here. So, as the full moon and we are, emerging back to the new moon, which, as I said, about the 21st, 22nd, if not, right? This is the 20. So that would be roughly the day before, a few days before, in and around that time, making that commitment, to embody change, love, authenticity, empowerment of self and others, to bring in harmony our light and our shadow for the greatest and highest good of all of humanity, starting with self, confronting those aspects of self that keep us stuck in the lower vibrations of scarcity, of anger, generational trauma that keeps us stuck in this crabs in a barrel mindset against one another. The cycles of victimhood that we keep putting ourselves into, whether we, as we continue into the repeating, we want to break those cycles of repeated patterns of overgiving and overtaking. The lower vibrations of survival mode, of the choices and behaviors that keep us stuck in survival mode. Look, we have, new life around what looks like destruction. So building a new earth where we're not repeating these same karmic societal patterns against self and each other. How are we doing that? By bringing with love, bringing in harmony, inner peace, synchronicity, and balance of our light and shadow selves. Taking stock of the patterns of reaction that we have against one another and self in situations when we adhere to the lower aspects of masking and anger, guilt, and shame, all those aspects of self that, looks to addictive behaviors, destructive behaviors against self and others because we're in pain and we haven't done the healing work, right? So, and the parts of self that lower our value even. And lower the value of others, those behaviors of judgment and shame and stigma. Bringing back into balance our resources and how it's divvied up in society. Right? We have the feather, it looks like a peacock feather here. But as you can see, it's even got that, it's got the colors of blue, yellow, green. So the chakras of the throat, the solar plexus, and the heart. We have in the background, right? We have some purple and blue here. So the crown, but that's the sky, that's the universe, that's the blue, black. The indigo, some sacral, some solar plexus, all blended in here. Right? The sun and the moon, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, 9 wish fulfillment, cycles, karmic cycles coming to a close so we can bring a new. Harmony, inner peace, synchronicity. What number? Synchronicity 9. That's right. Okay. 9, ocean of harmonic balance, harmony, inner peace, synchronicity. I move in harmony with the divine, embracing peace and balance. Initiation of honey. Please take a seat. No wonder you feel off. You are. You need to restore your equilibrium. Whether it's between work and play, giving and receiving, or your emotional and rational self, You are a bit off kilter. Ocean of harmonic balance appears when there's a need for restoration and alignment in your life. She invites you to take a step back and assess where the imbalance lies. Are you giving more than you're receiving, or maybe the other way around? Are your mind and heart at odds with each other? Sorry guys, the video cut out, but let me just finish where I was. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Are your mind and heart at odds with each other? This goddess encourages you to find your center by understanding that balance is not about choosing one over the other, but about integrating them. What to do now? Focus on actions that restore harmony. If you've been all work and no play, schedule some downtime. If you've been emotionally driven, take time to rationally evaluate your choices. Meditate, journal, or speak with someone who can offer perspective. As you make these adjustments, your life will naturally fall back into balance. Her story. Oshun's Osun Osogbo Sacred Grove in Nigeria houses 40 shrines, 2 palaces, and many sculptures and artworks. The Grove is a spiritual sanctuary recognized for its religious, cultural, and ecological significance. It was inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List in 2005 as a protected site for future generations. Healing ritual. Draw 2 columns on a piece of paper, one for areas in your life where you expand energy, such as through work or caregiving, and another for areas where you receive energy, perhaps from rest or hobbies. Note any imbalances. Then set one intention for restoring balance in each area and place the folded paper beneath the candle. Envision a golden light flowing through you, aligning and balancing each aspect of your life. I absolutely love that. And especially, note the part there where it talked about the sacred grove in Nigeria, and the fact that it's since 2005, it's a protected site for future generations. It's the part about the future generations. This is what we're doing all of this for, right? And while we're doing that for the future generations, we're doing that for our future selves so that we can evolve and live better in a cleaner environment for all of us. But we have to take stock of all aspects of self first and do that shadow work and that healing work and that deep dive within self so that we can all bring ourselves individually back into alignment with the light and love that we all are, essentially, from which we came. But it's through the darkness that we find the light again. So, yeah. But when we're in this dimension, when we're in this carnation here, in the lower densities, it's about what we do, and that sort of karmic cycle of give and receive, and balancing, that for self. So that essentially we're balancing that for all of us and our planet where we live in the middle of this huge galaxy. So with all that being said, I love you so, so much. As I always say, I am love and so are you. As I see myself as human, I know you are too. So please remember to take care of yourself and one another. And while you're at it, please don't forget about me too. Thank you for joining me today for this sort of mashup birthday haul, what I've been working with for the month of September, therapy and tarot, giveaway, showcase, and collective reading, all from Faces of Ocean. Some of the decks that I hope to continue working with through the month of September, what I hope to, be changing over in the future, in the weeks to come, into, as we move into the month of October, which is also, mental health month, mental health awareness, with October 10th, see, a month, 10/10, a month from my birthday, is exactly a month from my birthday, is Global Mental Health Day. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, comment down below. And I hope that you will continue to join me on this healing journey. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll always be in the know when I post my next video. And until next time, please always remember to check your privilege, mind your magic, and as always, live, listen, and learn. I love you, everybody. Bye.